Hey everybody, and welcome to the next map that I'm going to play, which is the Jedi Purge Kashyyyk. This was actually a map requested by one of you in the comments, so again, don't forget to give me suggestions or requests on maps or mods that you want me to review. So here we have the Jedi Purge. I mean, the title says it all, I think. This is basically after Order 66, and the Jedi have fled all over the galaxy, and now the clones are chasing them, and we have followed them to Kashyyyk to destroy them. There you can actually see something that is very cool here. Darth Vader is on our side, so it's not entirely Jedi versus clones. We actually have a lightsaber user of our own on our team. Very, very cool. On the first glance, you might actually think that there's no skybox, but as you can see, there is. It's just nighttime. As you can see, immediately very chaotic. The map layout is not that special, and to be honest, and we'll get more into that later, the map itself is not the selling point here. The map itself is just two forces opposite of each other. You're fighting a force. There's a few obstacles here and there, but the unique thing here is obviously, you know, the lightsaber users, the Jedi versus the clones, you know, reimagining that Order 66 feeling. There have, of course, been Order 66 maps in the past that took place on Coruscant or the Jedi Temple. But this, of course, takes a little bit more freedom to tell the story afterward. Maybe take some inspiration from The Force Unleashed. I think in the first Force Unleashed, there's, of course, a scene that takes place in Kashyyyk where you play as Darth Vader in the beginning. I have already, also a thing here is that this is actually a map that has been released in June of 2019, and so it is a very new map. Most of the maps we've done until now were a few years old. Oh, look at that, we already captured this point here. Let's actually switch to another one. So what's really cool is we have our Imperial Purge Trooper here. I could be wrong, but I believe that this is also the same trooper we have seen, of course, in the, God, what is EA's new Jedi Fallen Order? I think we saw it in the E3 demo, because if you scroll, you can see here we have some cool melee weapons to choose from as well. They run pretty fast. Look, if I sprint, it's not fast as a normal sprint from a hero character. Ugh. As you can see there too, we got pretty owned. But now we can switch to Darth Vader.
What is thy bidding, my master?
And again, it's such a small touch, but I think it adds a whole lot to have a lightsaber user on the side of the clones as well.
The enemy has taken a command post. Our second wave of troops is being depleted.
It's sort of like their secret weapon, though again, the opposite side has so many more, so if you're not careful when you're playing as Vader, you can easily be cornered or surrounded by Jedi and be killed very easily. I also think it's compensated by the clones having some light vehicles. Very nice. I could be wrong, but I think much of the vegetation that has been used is not necessarily from the Kashyyyk map, but from Endor. Sometimes I also forget that we're fighting on Kashyyyk, and then I'm like, oh no, we're fighting on Endor. I also saw that since the release, the creator has released two other maps with the Jedi Purge. One of them is on Kessel and one of them is on a snow planet. So if you want to see that, let me also know in the comments. You do of course have a chance that, because again it's probably Jedi Purge, so it is the same setup.
I am finished, my master.
This map only supports Conquest, only Clone Wars.
Let me at him.
Oh jeez. But I think that is enough to do. Again, the map itself is a little bit simple. What I hope to see in the other two maps, or in future maps that the creator makes, is to have more variety, maybe more detailed maps. As of course here, this is the first time of me playing the mode, and then that is enough to really sell this map, even though the map itself is not the most interesting point here. See, this is very cool. You're a little bit higher than everybody else, so you have a beautiful vantage point to shoot them. I don't know if it's balanced all that well. We are ahead quite a bit. Let's actually do switch one more time here, and then I will switch sides. Actually, I want to switch to the oh, you can actually see we got a few clones stuck here. That's kind of a shame. But I'm going to switch to the Jedi just to see what they have to offer. I actually don't know if they have a hero unit. Makes me kind of curious. Yeah, Darth Vader, no. It is, of course, also interesting that the fact that we are playing newer maps is that they create a whole, you know, new modes or more dynamic situations like this, which of course did not really happen with the older maps even before the mod tools were released. Let's switch sides. Switch sides. English, not native speaker. Let's see what we got here. So we got Wookies that of course help them to, of course, remind us that we are playing on Kashyyyk. Also, we are losing. We need to recapture some points here. This is not going. And see, this is why, in my opinion, the vehicles, the smaller walkers, are not necessarily a balance breaker because the Jedi are just so fast. It's just that the AI cannot really cope with it. I see that the AI is jumping all over the place, but they're not doing a super good job.
Command post under enemy control. Reinforcements are being depleted.
I'll take care of these clones. There we go. Capture that. See, that's the thing. When you're playing against AI, I think it's well playable with AI. The Jedis are not that competent. They of course do a ton of damage, which that's why that makes them dangerous. But if you would be playing with actual players, maybe the Jedi would be a little bit too overpowered, but I'm not entirely sure. Again, with all the jumping all over the place.
The Confederacy is in control of the command post. Hostile reinforcement count is dropping.
I mean, they can be at the other side in like seconds.
For the Chancellor!
Well, I killed both my allies. Great.
Watch your flanks!
We've lost control of the command post.
Did we? Yeah, middle. Again, it is also, because it's also close next to each other, a lot of stuff happens. But it's not so close as we of course had with Coruscant High Fight, where it was just one hell of a choke point and nothing happened. I think this is a good example of a map where everything is super close together, yet far enough, and there's room enough for the battle to spread out and not create these annoying choke points that basically break the map.
The command post is under Confederacy control.
Oh my god, look at me go. I'm not dying. Damn, son. Oh, that was a mistake. There you go. Wow, I created a massacre over there. Let's see what we got. Wookiees are not that interesting, but sure. Pew pew pew. Yeah, okay. No. I'll stick to the Jedi. In a way, the map is also, or the mode is also dynamic enough to where it, you know, presents different types of gameplay, where if you like, for example, melee combat more, you know, you'll be on the side of the Jedi. If you like the more traditional shooting, you'll be on the clones. In all honesty, I mean, the melee combat in Battlefront 2 is not bad, but it's not as good as, say, a Jedi Knight 2. So I don't think it justifies playing a mode just for the melee combat. But again, I think that the mode is very cool. With also, again, the conventional setup of the map. There's actually, I just now noticed that there are 5... Yeah, there are 5 spawn points. Then actually this spawn point here, well, it's from the Jedi, right? So I was about to say that it's not that well balanced, where one side has immediately 3 and the other has 2. But you could see how easily, as the clones, we could capture some of their points. I actually think that the clones might be an advantage here, unless, again, I now took control. Yeah, exactly. Unless the players take control of the Jedi in full force. Anyway, guys, you can find the link to this map in the description down below. Let me know any suggestions or recommendations, and I'll see you guys next time.